Welcome to Amaka Intellectual Factory, where I host podcasts and many other interesting stuff. By now, everyone interested in interracial relationships, especially the Black women interested in interracial relationships, must have learned about the divorce of one of the poster children for interracial relationships between Black women and white men. That is, the divorce of Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo. I don't even think this story is trending anymore. I wish I could have posted earlier on it because I know my subscribers would have been expecting me to post a video earlier, given my exposure of the psychological operation in place to push Black women into as many interracial relationships as possible. Please pardon me for the delay. I was caught up with a lot of stuff. But now the dust has settled a bit for me and I'm ready to put out this video. Before I go any further, I would like to give you lovely subscribers and viewers the facts of the divorce. I will not take for granted that you have gotten the facts from other videos or be lazy to assume that because this is an intellectual area. So, according to E! News and other news reports, Bryan Abasolo was the one who filed for divorce, and this news broke out on January 2nd, 2024. He listed the date of separation as December 31st, 2023, that is, New Year's Eve, and he is asking for spousal support. The reason he gave for the divorce was irreconcilable differences. For those not familiar with family law in the United States, especially California, California is a no-fault divorce state. What that means is that no one has to prove wrong in order to ask for a divorce. And so for this reason, a lot of people in California list irreconcilable differences as reason for seeking a divorce. California is also a community property state, which means that upon divorce, assets of the couple are presumed by law to be split 50-50 unless the parties agree otherwise. Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo both put out statements after the news of their divorce broke out. Some people have come up with the hypothesis that because January is seen as a divorce month, where the number of people seeking divorce is higher than other months of the year, Bryan Abasolo's decision to file for a divorce was influenced by this hypothesis. Those who peddled this hypothesis claim that most people who file for divorce in January do so as a New Year's resolution and a fresh start. That's an interesting hypothesis. I don't know. What do you wonderful subscribers and viewers think? Well, that's that on this divorce. Now more on this couple. Like most people, I came to know about Rachel Lindsay through The Bachelorette, an ABC network reality TV show where one person, usually a guy, is given a number of women to pick from as his wife or partner. However, The Bachelor Nation started The Bachelorette, where this time around, a woman is given a number of men to pick from as her husband or partner. Rachel Lindsay was the Bachelorette for season 13. She and Bryan Abasolo got married in Mexico in 2019. Rachel is a Black American woman and Bryan Abasolo's place of birth is Miami, Florida. But his last name should make anyone curious to find out his actual place of origin. And so I did a quick Google search, and here's what I found. According to Wikipedia, Abasolo is a Basque surname reflecting a person who lived on or near land owned by the church. It originates from words meaning priest, Abbas, and Mido, Solo. Notable people with the surname include Alejandro Abasolo, a Mexican football player, and Garbiñe Abasolo, a Spanish beauty pageant winner. Most people don't even bother to check origins of people anymore. And this is very important. I wonder if Rachel even bothered to look into the origin of her husband. That Basque origin already rings a bell in my head. And the reason is because the Basque have been a somewhat mystery to their neighbors in Spain. So much so they have their own country in northern Spain. Their culture is different, their language is different, and even more intriguing, their genetics is different. They are considered to be descendants of a much older pre-Indo-European group, thus the somewhat ethnic look to Bryan Abasolo. I'm gonna stop here on his ancestry, but when I start a conversation on the different groups of Europeans, you would see why the Basque are a people of great interest to me and anyone interested in learning about the different origins of Europeans, which every Black person, in fact, every Black woman should be interested in. We share this world together, so it is only sensible to get to know our neighbors, especially when they are studying us intensely and intimately. Conversation for another day. I remember watching Rachel's season of The Bachelorette, and I remembered their first kiss. It was about this time that the psychological operation to push Black women into more interracial relationships became apparent to me because I noticed a pattern. Two things would always occur simultaneously. The first is an unexplainable increase in Black men declaring hatred for Black women. And the second is also an unexplainable increase in non-Black men declaring love, nothing but sweet love, for Black women. These two things had to be in place at the same time for more Black women to seek non-Black men. I'm telling you this now so that when the next "I hate Black women" from Black men and "I love Black women" from non-Black men starts, my subscribers and viewers will remember this video. The pattern has always been the same and would never change. As the Black Men Passport Bros movement has peaked out and failed woefully, we will see more of these Black women swirls turn sour. Now, there's a third thing that also has to be in place to encourage Black women to swirl more. I am mentioning this as a third because it is not as powerful as the two phenomena mentioned above. However, it has its own effect. And believe it or not, it also once swayed me into the psychological operation of interracial relationships. But not for long. And what is that third? It is Black women who, whether intentionally or unintentionally, in retaliation to the unexplainable spike in the hatred coming from Black men towards Black women, aggressively start to promote interracial relationships to other Black women. These Black women push for more quote and unquote femininity in Black women in order to be appealing to these non-Black men. Well, now it is becoming clear that this Black femininity movement, aka soft life, is contributing to prostitution in Black communities, whether in the United States or in the diaspora, as a few YouTubers, especially Black YouTubers, have observed. In addition, I would say it has also led to the increase in Black femicide, trafficking, and other vices that would be discussed in subsequent videos. During the period of Rachel Lindsay's season of The Bachelorette, the king of hatred for black women then was Tommy Sotomayor. And boy, did non-black people love the way he tore at black women, making examples of black Americans that society has betrayed and caused to go astray. Rather than using his platform to reform these people, he further dehumanized them. Story for another day. Back to Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo. It is bad enough that Bryan is the one that filed for divorce, but more distastefully is the fact he is also asking for spousal support. They were married for less than 5 years. Well, more like a little over 4 years. They don't have any children together. In recent interviews, Rachel made it known that they were trying to have children, but it seemed harder than she expected. So they don't have any kids. He is 43 years old. He is a chiropractor. He doesn't have any known disability. He is still young enough to acquire more education and skills to make him more money in the job market. Yet, Mr. Man decided to ask for spousal support. If you ask me, I think he wants to make Rachel suffer a little. Rachel also talked about how their sex life was not the best. And it got me wondering if she was still sexually attracted to him. That kind of thing cannot be hidden. You will know when someone no longer finds you sexually attractive. And for men especially, that hits the ego very hard. When I talk and think about the interracial relationship psychological operation, I'm usually very sympathetic to those who make decisions based off on that Psy-Op. Some people would mention George Lucas's marriage to a black woman to me, but his wife looks more like a dark-skinned Tamil Indian woman than African to me. Besides, they only got married in 2013. Then they might mention Bill Burr's marriage to a black woman. They too also got married in 2013. I hope that's a coincidence. Just saying. Well, I wish Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo the best as they continue their lives separately. Are there instances where black women engage in interracial relationships without the influence of the interracial relationship psychological operation? I would not rule that out. I give this answer because, given the black woman's history in not just America and the Caribbean islands, but worldwide, it is hard to fathom that any black woman who has taken time to really study her history would make such a decision consciously. My response is further buttressed by the ever-increasing book ban taking place in the United States. These book bans, led by mostly white men, are a major contributory factor to why most black women don't know their history in relation to every other group of people in the world. The book ban is also a major contribution to why more and more children in the United States can't read, as even classics are also being banned by white men. But I am a believer in the US Bill of Rights and its freedom of association rights. You know, a lot of people have issues with the US Constitution, but I have to say that the US Constitution is by far my favorite constitution in the world, for now. I believe in it and advocate for the protected rights in it and those that have arisen from it. I just noticed a pattern that exposed a psychological operation. In such instances, it is my duty to notify people, especially Umuada and other black women, because of what use is knowledge when it's not shared. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Until next time, take care of your lovely selves. And remember, life is beautiful and worth living.